let's say if you want to just talk about how you've enjoyed eXp and what the move was like, because most of you would have moved over this year, or just how the year was. Stick your hand up. There's a little button there that says raise your hand, and then I'll pick you out and then have your say. I want to talk about the Build conference before we close and encourage you guys to book. I'm launching the Build conference to my big database tomorrow. So the email goes out to 4,500 people tomorrow. We may very well run out of tickets. We may almost certain we're going to run out of platinum tickets quickly. We've already sold 6 of them, 6 or 7 of them or something, and there's only 50 available. So I would recommend you do buy your tickets now. And anyway, I'll get into that a little bit later. So yeah, good morning. Merry Christmas to you all. I hope it was a great year. Stick your hand up and tell me what the year was like. If nobody puts their hand up, I'm going to start picking on people. And it's okay if you say it was tough. So you had a rough year. Hoping for a better year next year. Whatever. Okay, Lolita, see your hand is up. Go for it.
Okay, so this year was my first year at eXp, and it was a huge learning curve, but in a really good way, because I kind of had to get used to the idea of people actually being nice, you know, colleagues being nice and kind and helpful and all of that. So that was a huge learning curve for me, but in a very, very positive way. And it's helped me just to elevate my thinking. I think about my business differently since I've moved to eXp. I don't focus on the small things. Obviously, they are important, but I've lifted the lid on the way that I think about myself and the way that I do my business since I've been with eXp. So it's been really awesome. It's been tough, but it's been a good tough. So I've enjoyed it.
So you have really experienced eXp to be far more collaborative and helpful than your previous company.
Correct. Surprisingly so, to the point where I had to take a step back and think, okay, is this real? Yeah, that's basically how I've experienced the company. And then I realized, so it caused me to change myself and the way that I operate in the business as well. So it's been really good. It's been awesome.
What do you put that down to? And if anybody else has got a comment, I'd also like to hear it. Like, why is eXp's culture different? Why? What causes that?
I think it's the top down. I think it is part of the culture that you have created, Steve. I don't think it comes from anywhere else, apart from the fact that I happen to join your team, and it's the way that you encourage people to work in the business. And it's actually not so much what you encourage people to do, but it's what you do. So as a person for us. And so it causes us to do the same for others. You know, even though we may not benefit from them directly, it causes us to want to be better, basically. That's what it comes down to.
Thanks, Lolita. I appreciate that, because I have worked hard at creating a culture of collaboration and of cleanness and of honoring one another, and that's important to me. But I think it's eXp's model is also someone's trying to get into the meeting. I can't remember who was in charge of that. I think Graham. Okay, let me do it. Chris, I'm going to jump over to you now. I see your hand is up, and then Michelle Taylor. I think there are other explanations for it as well. I think ownership, the stock awards are a big thing. There's something mental that happens when you're an owner in the company. So it's like we see each other as fellow shareholders, fellow owners of this ship that we're all sailing on. So I think ownership changes how we relate to others in the company. I think the way the revenue share system works, I mean, that's completely disruptive in the real estate industry. I think that changes how we relate to one another in 2 ways, because none of us work for each other. I'm not your boss. I can't tell you what to do. I don't, I mean, you guys know how I lead. I don't want any kind of relationship of power or accountability, or like, you're never going to get a phone call from me asking like, where are your listings, or what are you doing, and why haven't you done a deal in 3 months? Or that's not my, I don't have the right to do that. We each own our own business. So I think that's another thing. And then the other part of the revenue share system is certainly within the lines of sponsorship, the better you do, the better I do. So I want you to succeed. And then the same is true, obviously, the stock awards. The better you do, the better the company does, the share price goes up. That helps me. So I think there are other factors within eXp's model itself that drive this global sense of collaboration that there is in eXp, which is a very satisfying thing. Chris, Giorgio, you had your hand up. You've taken it down. Do you still want to say something?
Yes, thanks, Steve. I just took it down because you noted me already. So,
cool. Right, thanks, Chris.
Excellent. So, yeah, I just wanted to pick up from where Lolita said, because I've also only been with eXp since May this year. But the collaboration with the agents is on another level. With my previous company, and even now, with trying to deal with other agents, it's like a no-go zone. I don't feel comfortable. We don't have that relationship that, like what Fred discusses about agents working together with agents. For me, it's a ball breaker to try and get another agent to assist me. You know, it's like, no, it's a sole mandate, go somewhere else. No, I've only had it for a month, go somewhere else. So we found with eXp, the collaboration and the teamwork and the help and the assistance, everyone's willing to help everyone. Listed yesterday, sell it tomorrow. It's great. Just get the agents to collaborate and work together. That's just what I picked up from what Lolita mentioned as well.
Okay, awesome. Michelle, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, firstly, I want to just second what Lolita said, that you definitely have created this amazing little family, Steve. So thank you very much for that. But yeah, eXp, I joined in February, and yeah, now December, I'm kind of like got my financial freedom, and it's just thanks to eXp. And I think the big thing with eXp is like when you work for a franchise, you feel like you work for a franchise, even though they tell you don't work for us, but you feel like, because they micromanage you, whereas you really feel a sense of this is your own business, and so I tend to put more in because it's my own business. I love it. I'm mad about eXp. I love it.
Cool, Michelle. Thank you. That's so good to hear. Craig, Stacey.
Yes, yes, Steve. Well, some of it has been mentioned. You know, my year hasn't gone exactly as I would have liked it to have gone with eXp. But one of the biggest things that I can definitely say is this whole thing of that you're not entitled, or should I say, you're not forced into focusing on eXp. If you've got other things that are happening at the same time, which in my case has been the case, I've been successful in those endeavors, but now that those endeavors have got to a point of being sort of in a completion stage, I want to now push for the 2023 to be a successful year for myself. And the fact that everybody has said that, nobody, like you had said as well, you specifically yourself, that nobody phones and says, listen, you know what, you're not performing, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, why aren't you doing this? That's not happening. You know it in the back of your mind. You know where you're supposed to be. You know what you're supposed to be doing, but you're not getting that ugly push from everybody else. And then also the collaboration. I think because the systems are set up in such a way that you have security, inverted commas, within the system, and also from yourself, also having that spirit of collaboration and sharing is definitely a big factor. And when I speak to agents about it and go through the whole, the model explained, et cetera, people still have hesitation, and that takes a bit of a while to try and get over that sort of thing of saying, we're a family, we're here to work with each other, we're for each other, we help wherever we can, no matter who we are, what we do, what our background is, how successful or unsuccessful we are, we help each other. And that's the wonderful thing about eXp, and I doubt whether I'll ever give it up. So thanks to you and to everybody else. Thank you.
Awesome, Craig. Thank you. Elmarie.
Thanks, Steve. Yeah, I just want to add what Lolita said is, since I joined in May, And I must say it was very scary because I'm not an IT person. My husband has extra grey hair, but I learned a lot about IT and everybody helped. And I actually learned a lot about myself. And what's exciting for me is I just joined this company, and I once asked, I think I was there for a week, and I asked the question on the WhatsApp group, and there was just everybody just answered and helped. And even my principal in my previous company couldn't help me with that question that I asked in a previous time when I asked her. So, and the fact that everybody's just friendly and help, and everybody helps, and yeah, the IT people, the finance people, although it's all online, it's all everybody's helping you. You never feel stupid when you ask a question. So, and the fact, Steve, that you help us. I think I know there's people in Centurion that recruit people overseas, and I just feel sorry for those people because I don't know where they're going to fit in, how they're going to, because they don't have a team. I that's very nice, and it's a privilege to be part of your team. Thank you.
Yeah, Omri, thank you for sharing that. And I think I was agent number 3 in eXp when it launched here in South Africa. And I made that decision immediately when I joined, is that I am going to build not just a revenue share team and add as many people as possible. I'm going to gather them together to start building relationships with each other. And that simple commitment has turned into what has been, I mean, I never expected it to be the way it is and feel the way it is. You know, the reality of it is far better and far sweeter than what I'd envisioned. But I just had this thing of, okay, let's build a community, let's build a culture of this thing. And then along the way, I've built, you know, I had an idea. Oh, let's shoot a video for that. Let's create a website page for this. Let's do a conference next year. And you know, the fact that, and let's be honest, I mean, I get paid very well for what has happened over the last 2 years. And it gives me the freedom to be able to produce stuff and put on conferences, the kind of stuff that you guys wouldn't be able to do because your group isn't big enough and you're busy with sales. So I think it's a good partnership between me and you. You know, I think it works well, and long may it last. I think Chantel, you were next.
Hi, Steve. Yes, thank you. So I just want to add to what everybody has been saying. I just want to say yes, thank you very much. I think you've done an amazing job, and it's really, it's brilliant, and I feel honored to be part of your team. So I also want to touch on something that resonated with me that Craig said. I joined eXp in June of this year, but of course I first had that restraint of trade issue to sort out, and so I haven't. At the end result is that I haven't achieved what I've wanted to in terms of production this year. But at the same time, what has been absolutely amazing for me is that I haven't had pressure from anybody to say, please explain. I mean, I've been doing this long enough to know why I haven't been successful. I've been doing this long enough to know where I slipped up and where I fell down. But I haven't had that pressure, and not having that pressure has allowed me to actually examine why I haven't done what I should have done. Why is it that I slipped down here, and why is it that I slipped down there? So that's been amazing. It's been a tremendous personal growth for me, and I cannot wait for 2023. I really can't. I'm so excited, and I think all of us are going to do so well. It's just amazing. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Chantal, this would make an interesting PhD for someone in a psychology or an anthropology department. And I say that because you have two very different leadership styles contrasted in the traditional model of real estate and then the eXp experience, where eXp is like this experiment where we say to people, you're an adult, you own your own business, we're here to support you if you need it, but you make your own success, you make your own failure. Let me know if you need help.
Yeah.
It treats people as if they are self-standing, strong leaders who can manage their own lives, as a strategy, as a leadership strategy across the whole organization. You know, what would happen if you just treated people as if they can manage their own lives and they are leaders themselves? What would happen? You know, I don't know if there's any organizations in the world that are structured like that. There's always lines of management and key performance indicators and performance reviews and accountability, and you've got to clock in and clock out at such a time. eXp have just come in and said, no, we're going to build a company of 86,000 agents and counting, and everyone we're just going to treat like an independent leader. It's fascinating to me.
Yeah, Stephen, do you know what you're saying there now actually hits the nail on the head, because I think it was Michelle who also mentioned that, you know, this whole thing of working independently, that now it is actually our own business. And what you've just said, and what I experienced in the past 6 months, is that I have considered myself to be an independent a business person, you know, and I have considered myself not to need management, and not micromanagement, and not even macro management. You know, I've considered, and then all of a sudden I had to put my money where my mouth was. You know, it was, I think that I'm an adult and I'm independent and I know what to do and wada. And it was like, okay, well, you know, here you go now you can go do all these things you've been saying that you can. And in that has been a growth experience for me as well, to realize, but you know what? At the end of the day, you're accountable to. You're accountable to yourself. And if you don't get it right, it's been amazing. It's been amazing. I can't wait for 2023.
Well, Chantal, I'm so glad you joined me. Christine.
Hi, Steve. Listen, yes, I echo everything that you said. From my side, I've seen my team taking ownership, growing up in the fast lane. You know, I came over to eXp in the last month. It's about 5 weeks now. And I had 3 intern agents still in my team at my previous situation. All of them now, well, they are here. And I've just seen how they stand up and take their own responsibility in this 5 weeks. So that just to me underlines everything that you have said. It is about leadership. I'm not there to mother them. I'm not there to check after them, but I am there for them and I'll do the mentoring. But the bottom line is, it's now each one for himself. You are successful and you are motivated to become successful, or you don't do what you have to do. And that's up to everyone himself.
Thanks, Christine. Yes, I had a thought that came to mind as you were talking. It'll come back to me. Jan.
Morning. Good morning, Steve. Morning, everyone.
Morning, Jan.
Yeah. Hi. I just want to say, yeah, it's been an amazing journey for me. You asked the question, how was the last year? Well, it was a great year, a fantastic year. I actually opened a law business in the Helderberg in lockdown 2020, which was maybe quite counterintuitive to start business at that time when we were not even allowed to go out of our homes, except to walk the dog now and again. But so 2020 was not good when I joined eXp, except one of the great things I did in that year was to join eXp. And it's just testimony to it that in a time when there was an economic depression and one couldn't do business, that eXp was a way out and a way forward. So now in this last year, where there's been a big surge this particular year, it's been a really good year. Sorry, I joined in 2021. But this year has been a really good year for me. And I think explanation is, it's really about a natural accountability we have to each other as people. It's not that enforced kind of organizational hierarchy. But, you know, when you relate to people and you invest and you say hi and you say, I want to help you, you kind of become accountable in a nice, natural way. And there's a lot of mutual respect. And I've really enjoyed the people on this group, you know, and I meet them from time to time at functions. And when we meet, it's like, oh, hi, Alette, for example. I'd never met Alette Marie until we bumped into each other at the Africa Leadership Conference, but it's like we knew each other. It's that interesting thing. So yeah, it's really been great for me, and I've enjoyed the relationships, and I can really see that eXp is a disruptive and a phenomenal model because we're all clinging to it and loving it, and it's growing like anything. And I'd like to maybe say something a little bit later about the sponsorship of the conference coming up, the Build Africa, but I won't say it now. Maybe there'll be a chance later. But that's just all about how it's really grown for me. And there's so many new avenues. It's so creative. I'm very stimulated personally as an entrepreneur, because I'm also an entrepreneur and an attorney and a property guy. And there's something very stimulating about the model, which keeps me very interested. So, and I want to thank you, Steve. I do think you've really done a great job, and we've had to follow. We've been watching you, and the way you do it rubs off. And I think I can echo what other people have said in that regard. So yeah, thanks to everyone.
Yeah,
and I'll
thank
chat
you.
a bit later.
Yeah. I'm going to talk about the Build conference and show the website, and then we're going to see the sponsors there, and I'll hand it back over to you. Yeah, thanks, Jan, and thank you for how you've served us as a group over the last year. And I think that accounts for a lot of the success that you've enjoyed in your practice, is how you've been willing to serve and help. And I know there's many people on this call today that behind the scenes have used you to help with stuff. The story, when Christine was talking, it came back to me. The story that I remembered was when I was in George sometime last year, early in the year, doing a conference. There was a lady in the front row who was a principal of a real estate business. I think they had 30 agents, and her partner was in the room, her business partner. She put her phone on about 2 minutes before I finished speaking, and when she put it on, it like made this little singing sound, and it was a bit embarrassing for her, and I teased her a little bit, and then we had a bit of fun, and then it finished. Everyone sort of came up, wanted to chat to me. Her partner came up and was talking to me, and I'd been talking to him for a few minutes, and I said to him, his name's Andre. I said, Andre, I want you to notice something here. Alta has been sitting there now with her phone on for about 5 minutes. She is the principal of your business. You've got 30 agents. Her phone has rung 3 times in the 5 minutes that you and I have been talking to one another with 30 agents. Why is that? Because she's responsible for everything. If an agent has a problem, they phone her. If a client has a problem, they phone her. If a drip is tapping at the office, they phone her. If a door won't open, they phone her. She's responsible for everything. I said to him, I have over 400 agents in my revenue share team. I will go a whole day and my phone won't ring. And that seriously, that is the way it is. I will go a whole day and my phone won't ring, because I'm not responsible for anyone or anything. You know, you get one life. Like, let's have a quality of life that's amazing. eXp gives you an amazing quality of life because we don't have everybody hanging on us, and yet we get to empower as many people as we want to, if they want it. To me, it's awesome. It is just an awesome model. Somebody else, come on, guys. Here's your time. Raise a hand.
Good morning, everybody.
Freddie, how's it, man?
I'm good, thank you. It's good to see everybody on the last meeting for the year. Yeah,
it would be good to see you, Freddie, if your camera was on.
Let me put my camera on.
I almost said that we'd like to see you for the last time in a year, Freddie.
Yeah, exactly.
Nah, big man.
Come on, Freddie. We want to see you.
I'm in jail again.
Oh, here we go.
You see, I'm on the grill behind. So anyway, guys, how was this year? I think 2022 was a fantastic year, a brilliant year. And having listened to what everybody has said, Chris, I would have told you by now to go smoke outside in the office. You see, that's the beauty of eXp. There's none of those nonsenses. 2022 has been a brilliant year, and I echo what everybody has said. And you know what, Stephen, I want to thank you for making it easy for us to be in eXp and to be a team leader of people that you don't even know. You know, you've produced this amazing culture. Everybody just feels welcome and at home when they join your team. And the most amazing thing for me this year was having been able to travel to Georgia and Mossel Bay and meeting all my colleagues, family members that I've never seen before, and having the ability just to rub shoulders with these guys and hug them like brothers. And so, you know, we actually knew each other when we met for the first time. I think it was one of the guys that said at the Africa Leadership Tour, to having met Michael Valdez, we spoke as if we knew each other from a long time ago. You know, it is just that culture within eXp that makes life easy. And me, being a tech dinosaur, I didn't have to stress over that or stress about that. Not being on social media, not having my listings, blah, 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 all these social media. In eXp, that wasn't an issue. I just carry on my normal old style, connecting with people one-on-one, talking to them, getting my listings, selling them. And to the extent that it just doesn't bother me anymore. You know, not being on social media, because it is not a requirement. I can just do business and be successful, and the team just grows. And that is the most amazing thing about the eXp model. It allows us the freedom, and it allowed me the freedom to become financially stable without having to worry about if the agent doesn't perform. I've still got to keep the office open, this and that and the other. Those burdens are washed away. It's behind me. eXp just gives me that freedom to know that going into the future, my business is secure, my family is secure, and it is just going to get better and better as we grow into the eXp model. And what I'm looking for is 2023, our Build Africa conference. That is something that I'm so looking forward to. And once again, thank you, Stephen, for putting that all together for us. Because I don't know anybody in South Africa who would have been able to pull this off, but Stephen. And thank you for that. And I'm looking forward to meeting all of you guys at the Bold Conference. And also thanks, Jan, for always being willing to assist all of us with our legal questions and niggles and here and there. And even a lot of us who have not even, and I'm falling on my sword here, I haven't given Jan a deal yet, you know. But Jan is always willing to assist, and he's always there for people. And I've made this promise to Jan. I said to him, Jan, don't worry, the ship's coming. I'm committed to serving you as well and giving back to you, because you're giving so much back to us as a eXp family. So I just think, and unselfishly, without expecting anything, you know, Jan does that for us. And that is just the kind of leaders that we have in eXp. People who are willing to give of themselves and give of the time and giving of the business knowledge and sharing it liberally without expecting anything. And yeah, that's my 5 cents that I want to add into the spot this morning. And I want to wish everybody a blessed Christmas and a prosperous 2023, and be safe on the roads when you travel, please, folks. I would love to see everybody on the screens in person when we have the opportunity next year again. God bless you all. See you guys.
Thank you, Ferdy. That's very special, man. And Ferdy, I want to say thank you to you. Your leadership within the group is very strong. You have a lot of respect from the agents in eXp. You have an authority about you, and yet it's not a lauding authority. You have this incredible sense of humor. You've got this light and love and joy that emanates out of you, and yet there is this kind of air of authority as well that comes with you. And for me, that is a huge asset in this group. I appreciate you very much. So, I mean, Ferdy came in with 4 agents. He's probably got 110 plus agents now in his revenue share team. 116. 116. And actually, Ferdy's wife said one of the sweetest things I heard in 2022 was we were at the event in George, and Janine came up with Ferdy, and we were chatting after the event. Ferdy he's a bit of a celebrity, so everyone was wanting to talk to him. And Janine and I were chatting, and she said this to me: "You've given me my husband back." I'll never, ever forget those words. I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "We've had our own business for 22 years or whatever it was. We have never been able to take a holiday. We've never gone away for a long weekend without the phone ringing and Ferdy having to rush back to the office and sort out some problem." He said, "Now with eXp, we've come up for a single event in George, and yet we've taken a whole long weekend off. We're staying at a little B&B or whatever it was in Wilderness. It's like we can go away together now. You've given me my husband back." Hey, how awesome is that? Wow. I mean, to me, that was one of my highlights of the year, Ferdy.
Thank you, Stephen. Yeah, that was very special for us as well, you know. And it is, like you said, now we can just pack up if we want, like almost like a let and pour whenever you want to break away. Just decide when and what and where, and then you go. But the business just continues in the background and it just goes on and it grows without me interfering or intervening at any stage. The people are responsible for themselves and they are adults and they do the business because it is their business. And that's how eXp allows people to be just independent and grow their businesses independently of each other. And Remax has this wonderful saying: "You're in business for yourself, but not by yourself." In Remax, it's not evident. In eXp, it is so evident. You know, in business for yourself, but not by yourself, especially in this group. It is phenomenal.
Right, thank you, Ferdy. Who else? Who else wants to have their say? How was the year for you? Stick your hand up and I'll pick you out. Right, Sharon and then Alette.
Morning, everybody. Well, this year has been a good year. There's been tears, there's been laughter, but more than ever, I think the whole thing is that we grow year by year. And having joined eXp, I can say that I have really grown, and the people have just been so amazing. And the folks that I really, really need to thank, Jan, you've been such a blessing to me in more ways than one, and so humbly and willingly assisted. And I've got to thank you so much for all your assistance. Stephen, for always being there and giving us that gentle nudge to become better. And the thing I lack most is consistency, and I find that you just draw us in all the time, and I'm quite grateful for that. And thank you to the Lord for all that he's done for this year. And so I want to wish you all a wonderful festive season. May you be blessed with your family and have a good rest. Next year, April can't come fast enough. It's just that we've got to get through this Christmas. Ferdy, I can't wait to meet you. Okay. Thank you, guys.
Ferdy, there's a big hug coming your way in April. Thank you, Sharon. And you've been such a sweet and joyful presence in our group. Thank you to you.
Hi, everyone. Yes, Steve, I just also want to say that, I mean, every year with eXp is just better than the previous year. And we are really enjoying our new lifestyle. It has been challenging at some point, but what is really nice is that there's always an agent available to assist. And I've made many friends throughout the year, and it's like Jan said, when you meet people for the first time in real life, you feel like you've known them for a long time. They've already become your friends, and that's something that I really like about eXp. And to be part of this family, you feel like you belong. And yes, I really enjoyed the year that is past. The Lord has been good to us. He has been blessing us a lot. And also just want to say thank you to everyone that supported us, and looking forward to meeting new faces at in April in Cape Town. So yes, and Merry Christmas to everyone.
Thanks, Alette. And yeah, bless you guys. Bless you guys over Christmas too. Andre, Lydia, nice to see you. There's a different background. You're on holiday somewhere.
We're on holiday, yes. And that's the one thing that I want to say. Amazing year with eXp. Lovely to be in your team. What a privilege. And this is the first time for us in Keurboom's on holiday that we are willing to do a meeting. So that says everything. But it was a fantastic year, and yeah, working together and the eXp culture. I mean, there's no backstabbing, there's no negativity. If we've met with a lot of people that just reached out and wanted to join someone else's team, and we had long conversations with them. Other people did the same for us. Um, we just sold a house while we're here because someone else just takes your buyer through for you. That's still working on that side. No, the working together, the positivity. We're really, really looking forward to next year, and you're all such a blessing to us. And thank you so much. Have a fantastic Christmas, and see you in 2023.
Andre, you're going to follow that beautiful message up.
What more can I say? I can just reiterate it all, Stephen. But as everybody here has said, to you, thank you very much, because you just make this journey very special, because we're in your group. It would be great just being a part of eXp, but being a part of eXp with you is phenomenal. Thank you very much. And everybody have a wonderful Christmas. God bless you all.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. You know, the amazing thing here is that the people who are the happiest, the people who say they get the most support, are the people that actually serve everyone else the most. There's a lesson in life there. All of these people that have been speaking, I know how much they've helped other people. They've poured themselves into serving this family and this community. And it comes back to them. Give, and it will be given back to you. Works that way. So open your heart for 2023. Jump in, support other people, do stuff you're not getting paid for. Help other people build their businesses. It'll come back to you, I promise you. And we're building the kind of community here where there's channels to do that all the time. Beautiful part of our culture. Okay, before we get on to the Build Conference, anybody else? One last comment. You're very welcome.
Hi. Yes,
Hi,
I'm
Liesel.
going to try, and my internet connection is very bad. We've got load shedding. So
It's okay. Pretty solid.
Okay,
Go for
cool.
it.
So I just want to say I come from a company where we actually didn't have areas, and nobody checked on us or anything. So I didn't have that problem that everybody else had for the most part, but we didn't have the technology that eXp has. So it's of no use that you get open areas, and we had an 80-20 commission split. So if you have the big commission split and open areas and everything, but you're still only issued with pens and business cards and a very weak website. And you don't know anybody that works with you. Sorry about this. Oops. Because then you still can't produce. You know, with eXp and the group in which I am, apart from your group, my sponsor, Paddy, I've been able to sell a house very quickly, and I've a few more listings now, which I hope will transpire into sales quickly. Yeah, I sat with that company for very long. I actually left and joined that company 3 times. And it just didn't work for me because I went to the more traditional agencies and I couldn't stand the areas and the small commission splits. So I went back to the to that company with the bigger commission split and the no areas. But yeah, if you don't have the technological foundation that eXp has, I can't see how you can make it work, because I've tried everything. And now for the first time, it actually works.
Thanks, Liesl. Yeah. And you know what it is? It's the simplest thing, that eXp can provide such incredible technology and such good compensation for the agents. Why? Globally, because they don't have any buildings. It's that piece of the puzzle, that they don't have any bricks and mortar, that gives them a massive pile of cash to now do something with. And this is what they've done with it. They obviously invest in the best systems in the world and this global whole revenue share system that runs it, and obviously compensate the agents in a very competitive way. So yeah, thanks, Liesl, and I'm glad that the experience is kind of fit for you.
And just one last thing.
Yeah.
Can I start something quickly? We traveled from the one church to the other one and finally found a very big international church. And when I joined eXp, I said to my husband, now I'm also with a very big international company. And as it so happens, that church appears to be the host of next year's function. We go to Hillsong Century.
Yeah, they're not the host. We're just actually renting the venue from
the
Hillsong.
building. I'm in the building. Yes.
Yeah. And it's phenomenal. It's the most technologically advanced conference facility in South Africa. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. You see tech all the way.
Yeah. Great, Liesl. Thank you, and have a great Christmas with the family.
You too.
There was one other person whose hand was up. I think it was Colin. Was it Colin?
Yeah, Steve, hi.
How's it, Colin?
Yeah, good, thanks. Hi, everyone. I just wanted to say, yes, I'm also looking forward to 2023. I recently joined eXp, and it's been I think everyone will agree that transition is quite difficult, but once you're over that hump and you start getting those listings up and running, it's fantastic. So I haven't sold anything yet, but I'm working on a couple of deals, and and I've got about 7, 8, 9 listings, listing 2 more properties today. So I'm really excited to hit it in 2023. And the effort I've put in till now has been mainly getting myself set up and running. So once I'm up and running, the potential is just endless. So I'm very excited for next year.
Right, Colin. Yeah, and you do highlight something that's important there, that there is a little bit of a transition. I mean, if you were to leave your current company wherever you are and start your own real estate business, I mean, there would be all sorts of complexity and registration of stuff and trust accounts and branding and graphic designers, and there would be a transition period. And the same is true, I think, to a lesser extent, but it is true when you come over to eXp. And we do see top agents like yourself, and I know you're a top agent, go through a little period where because generally guys like you want everything to look good. You're very professional about your business, and you're very pedantic about how things have to be working. So there is a little period, but I mean, as you know, Brad went through that, and then once he was through that, he's just absolutely shot the lights out. So I can't wait to see what you guys achieve in your area together in Joburg next year. There's some great people joining in that area that I know you're going to be collaborating with, that I've been speaking to Brad about. I think you guys are going to do almost like what we've seen happen in the northern suburbs of Cape Town, in the Durbanville area. Like eXp are taking over in Durbanville.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see the same in your area.
Yeah, that's great. So we're also looking at trying to collaborate on a corporate identity, where there's some sort of, streamlined sort of look and feel, so that we can be recognized by the public.
Yeah, I think that's important. Great. Well, thank you, Colin. Yeah, and bless you too. Have a wonderful Christmas. Okay, guys. So the Build conference. Let's just spend a few minutes on that, and then we will call it a day. So the Build conference is. It's. I think I've told the story. Let me tell the story again in case you haven't heard it. About 3 or 4 months ago, Brent Gove, who is like the biggest leader, he's got 30,000 people in his RevShare team. And if you've done any homework on eXp, you would have come across a Brent Gove video. He does a conference called the Build Conference every year. I think he does it in Dallas, Texas. And for the last couple of years, Tony Robbins has been his guest speaker. I heard a stat at the last Build Conference, just the stage alone cost $1 million. Brent spent $1 million just on the stage. So I can only imagine what the whole conference cost him. It is quite a spectacle. 4,000 or 5,000 agents come to his Build Conference. So he called me because he's in my line of sponsorship. He's in our line of sponsorship. And he said, Stephen, I want to do an event with you in South Africa. So I said, wow, okay. We can get Brent Gove here to do an event with us. I've got to just pull out all the stops. Ferdy, you say you don't know anybody else who could have pulled this off. Well, I had no choice. Brent Gove said he's coming. What are you going to do? So we're busy chatting. He's in his car and we're on FaceTime. And I'm like, yes, let's do it. I'm in. We'll pick a date. I'll get back to you, no problem. And then he turns the phone to his whatever, left, right, and he says, Gene, do you want to come? And it was Gene Frederick. And Gene said, yeah, I'll come. So in the space of like 2 minutes, we got Brent Gove and Gene Frederick. So who's Gene Frederick? Well, he sits on the board of eXp. He was the first global leader that Glenn Sanford, the founder of the company, approached. Why? Because he was like Mr. Real Estate in America. He basically built Keller Williams. He was Gary Keller's right-hand man. He owned 6 of the largest Keller Williams franchises in America. He owned the Northern California region of Keller Williams. He had 6,000 agents in his offices. And he sold everything. When he saw the eXp model, he sold everything and he moved to eXp. If you want to hear that story, I'm going to open up another tab here quickly. That is a very interesting story to listen to. This is the, sorry. I'm going to show you a page now that is our follow-up resources page. If somebody would do me a favor and put the link to the follow-up resources page in the chat. This is the one you send people after you've shown them the model explained. Okay, so I've just put our latest video up at the top there. Then there's some of Brent Gove's events. If you click on these, it takes you to the YouTube playlist of the Build conferences that he does in America. And then he does one in Cabo called the Cabo Mastermind. There's the Build conference from 2021. You scroll below that, there's the story by Gene Frederick. That's where he tells the story of what he thought when he saw eXp for the first time. What made him sell up Keller Williams and join this tiny company that had a couple of hundred agents at the time. And so he is upline from Brent Gove. So Brent is in his business. So this oak has got an enormous business. He's kind of often referred to as the grandfather of eXp. Okay, so Gene is coming. Brent is coming. Back to our website. I wanted to actually play the video, but do me a favor, guys. Go onto the Build Conference website. Let me put that in the chat roll. It's just buildafricaconference.co.za. Thank you, Monica. So you put the other one in there. buildafricaconference.co.za. Go and watch the video if you haven't watched it yet. It's just talking about it and share it with people. Okay, so keynote speakers, Brent Gove, Gene Frederick, and then I make a prediction here. The most powerful speaker at the Build conference is a man you probably haven't heard of, Rory Dyer. I would say he's the strongest leader on the planet, and he's a South African. Actually can't get out of what's in my heart and in my mind and in my memory of this individual. He is the most outstanding, unique individual on the planet. Can't wait for you to hear him. He is going to change people's lives. And you will see what I mean when you hear him speak. Okay, so there's a little agenda. Okay, so this is now the first thing I want to draw your attention to. On the night before the conference starts, the conference is the 26th and 27th of April. It's a long weekend. The 27th of Thursday is a public holiday. That makes it easier for you to travel down to Cape Town if you're outside of Cape Town. Come for a long weekend to Cape Town. Okay, on the night before the conference, that's the 25th of April, there is an incentive dinner we've booked at Trin Restaurant, which is at Steenberg Hotel. It's a beautiful restaurant, and it's going to be an all expenses paid. I'm paying for dinner. It's going to be with Brent and his wife, and Jean and his wife, Jean and Susan and Brent and Kathy, and Danielle, my wife, and myself, and those of you who qualify. How do you qualify? Well, you need to have 15 frontline, 15 FLAs, okay, 15 frontline agents. They don't have to be FLQAs, okay? At the next conference, we'll do an FLQA thing. But right now, all I want you to do is have 15 people on your first tier. You've got 15, you qualify for the dinner. So if you're looking for a goal to hit before you get to April, that's a good goal. Sponsor 15 people on your first tier. Okay, that's the incentive dinner. On the morning of the Thursday, the 27th of April, there is a ladies' breakfast. Yeah, there's a little image of the ladies' breakfast here. So because most estate agents are female, I think it's like 70% female, I thought to myself, you know, we've got Brent and Jean coming out, but they are married to two amazing women. Kathy Gove does a lot of their, like, she's involved with their like charitable stuff that Brent does, and he does a lot of charitable stuff. And Susan Frederick was a huge Keller Williams agent herself. So these are two amazing people. And I thought, I mean, wouldn't it be amazing to see if we could get Kathy and Susan to do a breakfast just for the ladies, and then we'll get someone to interview them. And so we've done that. We've booked at Corpus Christi, which is just up the road from the Hillsong venue, and they can take 300 people. So we've got 300 tickets to a women's breakfast. It is an additional cost of 295 Rand for the breakfast, but I think it'll really be worth going to. So ladies, the women's breakfast, that's the other thing. Okay, tickets. Ticket prices. So there's three categories of tickets. Blue tickets are the general admission tickets, and that gives you access to the full 2-day conference and all the plenary sessions. So that's kind of like the entry level ticket, the blue tickets. And there's 1,000 blue tickets available. Then we've got 100 gold tickets. The gold tickets give you preferential seating. Okay, that's what you're paying the extra 350 Rand for. We're blocking off a section of 160 seats in the front of the auditorium that will have like these like sleeves on the back of the seats, 100 gold and then 60 platinum, so that you don't have to be sitting up in the bleachers for the event. You can be in that reserved seating section in the front. So that's gold tickets. Those are 650 Rand. And then we've got a much more expensive ticket called what we're calling our platinum tickets. This is going to be an unbelievable experience if you're one of the platinum ticket holders. In fact, the most selling ticket at the moment is the platinum ticket, and they're going to run out quickly. So you get a special reserved seating section right up in the front. So the first like 2 or 3 rows are going to be for the platinum ticket holders. We have a VIP lounge in the Hillsong venue. There's a separate like lift that goes up to it in the back. When you get into the VIP lounge, there'll be someone there to welcome you, to check your platinum ticket lanyard. And there's Wi-Fi. There's going to be a barista on call, so you can have as many coffees as you want. There's full-time catering, so you can actually come beforehand, because we start at 1 p.m., but you can come into the VIP beforehand and have lunch. If you want to afterwards, you can even have dinner. There'll be unlimited catering there on hand. Obviously, drinks, etc. is available. Then on the 2 on the 2 afternoons, mid-afternoon, so 3:30 till 4:30, we're having a mid-afternoon break on both days. We are doing a special leadership session. On the first day, it's going to be with Rory Dyer, and he's speaking on leadership. And it's just going to be the platinum ticket holders with Rory. And then on day 2, we're doing a special mastermind with Jean Frederick and Brent Gove. And again, that's just with the platinum ticket holders. It's going to be unbelievable. It really is a chance in a lifetime. The other thing we're doing is complimentary headshots. So we're going to have a professional photographer in the VIP room with like a background so that you can have your headshot redone. If you look on any of my social media, you'll see I've put up a new headshot since I came back from Las Vegas, because this is something we got from what they did in Vegas. It was so helpful to get a professional headshot done, and I put it on all of everything I do now. It's got a single headshot, and that'll be available in the platinum room. Okay, if you want to register, what do? You just click this register button anywhere on the page. You will see that it need to share this tab. Okay, so it takes you to the Quicket website, which is what we're using. You click tickets on the right-hand side there, and then you just add what you want. So let's say you want 2 platinum tickets. You click continue. Do you want a Build Africa golf shirt? So you can get a blue golf shirt, or you can get a white golf shirt. And then if you want to attend the women's breakfast, you can do it there. So let's say you want 1 blue shirt, you want 1 white shirt, and you want 2 tickets to the women's event, and then you click checkout. And then it'll ask you for your credit card details. Okay, simple as that. If you have already booked and you change your mind and you think, oh, I really want to go to the women's conference, you won't be able to come in and book again. You just send me an email and we can do that payment separately. No problem. What else did I want to tell you before I open it for questions and comments? Oh, yes, the sponsors. Okay, hotels. If you're coming in from out of town, make a weekend of it. Right, there's no block bookings or special rates that we've negotiated with hotels. It wasn't going to be worth it. But I have suggested 4 hotels to you that are all within walking distance of the Hillsong venue in Canal Walk. And they're nice hotels. So there's the Bridgewater Hotel, which is 20 meters. You walk out of the entrance of the Bridgewater into the entrance of Hillsong, basically. You can click there to get onto their website. There's Urban Square Hotel, the Coliseum Hotel, and Crystal Towers Hotel. If you're looking for something that's a little bit more 5-star, you can go to the Crystal Towers. They're all within walking distance, so you can book your hotel there. And then event sponsors. We are very grateful to our 4 headline sponsors. And I'll hand over to Jan to say a word about this. But Boshoff Attorneys, Funner Real and Associates is a financial planning practice that's associated with Old Mutual. They're still actually making their mind up, but it looks like they're going to do it. I've got a meeting with them at 10 o'clock today. Multinet Home Loans, and we're launching something exciting with Multinet next year. Okay, so just remember I said that. I'm formalizing a relationship with Multinet that's going to give you probably the best bond com that you've ever been offered. And then Currency Partners is the currency business that wanted to partner with us on this event. Okay, Jan, you want to have a word?
Yes, thanks, Steve. I'm very chuffed. As I said, I used the word chuffed because that's where I come from. And to see Boshoff there, because and that's amazing. How did that get there? You know, I'm not from one of the largest firms in South Africa, not at all. But it's the magic of eXp once again, and that's why we're there. And thanks to you, Steve, for putting your trust in me that are we going to deliver, and I believe we are. And I also, I think I'm drawn to this group because I've got something in me which does think big, and there's a lot of big people who think big on this group. I think the way you just said yes to Brent Gove instinctively, I think there's something of that in me as well. So I'm excited about it. And so also what I said to the people is that, you know, when I started out about 16 months ago, I was helping people, but the demand has got big. So I need to grow. And that is why a month ago I flew to Pretoria and I went to see the MD of Boshoff and I pulled him on board, you know, and I got him down to your conference recently, the Africa Future conference, a leadership conference, Steve, and he met you. And I think people are getting persuaded. Now, the thing about this is that, firstly, as I've said, a thanks to you, Steve, and to the eXp agents, because you've helped me to grow and to understand the model. And what I will tell you is still many people who are related to the property industry don't understand eXp. They still don't. With my boss of people, I'm teaching them. They don't understand it easily because it is so disruptive. But okay, so we're going to be there, but I'm now going to be preparing how to present something disruptive at the conference. We cannot go in there in an ordinary way to an extraordinary organization. So that is why I'm looking for ways to serve the agents better and to serve the industry better. Okay, that's what's got to happen now. And, you know, it's got to do with collaboration. We're making a study of how do we work with mortgage originators? How do we work with agents? I mean, of course, apart from the normal business deals, you give me a cut and I give you a cut. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about something a bit deeper than that, what we can do to serve you. Also, there is the onset of e-conveyancing coming up, which is going to mean that you're going to be lodging documents and preparing documents in the conveyancing process digitally. That's working, and that might roll out in late 2023 or 2024. We want to be at the forefront of that. It's going to mean that your transfers are going to be cut by at least 6 weeks. So you're going to get your commission much quicker. So we are going to be involved in that. Yeah, so just excited to be there. I don't know exactly what we're going to be saying. We're going to be working on something quite different. It has to be different, but it's certainly exciting. And yeah, thanks again. So I look forward to seeing you at the conference.
Thank you, Jan, and we appreciate your support. It's the sponsors that are making the event possible. So thank you, Jan. Appreciate you too. Right, then at the bottom of the page, there's just some frequently asked questions which you can click on and it'll give you the answers. So, Chantal, to answer your question, for the incentive dinner, this incentive dinner with Jean and Brent the night before, 15 by the day of the dinner, but they have to have onboarded with eXp, yeah, and then you'll get your invitation to the dinner. Okay, so one last point I want to make on this. This is an agent attraction event. What that means is, yes, it's going to be good for eXp agents. Yes, we're going to have a family reunion type time. Yes, we're going to love it. We're going to have enormous amounts of fun. We're going to learn. We're going to be inspired. Yes, it's going to be good for the group. Absolutely, 100%. But it is also going to be as good and as powerful for guests. That's why this is called the Build Conference, because this conference is focused on the building of the community of agents. It's focused on the revenue share. Yeah, so this is not so much about becoming a better estate agent as it is about building your revenue share team. That's what this event is designed for, which means if you get guests there with you, guests, estate agents who are currently with another company, if you get them there as your guests, the chances are very strong that by the end of the 2 days, they are seriously going to be considering coming over to eXp. Now, what does that mean? That means if every ounce of effort you put in over the next 4 months to get guests with you to this Build Conference will be paid off. I don't know if you've ever been in an event where you're sitting in the auditorium, you're listening to someone speak, you're looking around you, you're experiencing the experience, and you think to yourself, why did I not get more people here with me? Have you ever had that regret sitting somewhere? I've had that in like church circles where I've been sitting and there's been an unbelievable communicator communicating truth in a winsome, powerful way that I know would have resonated with people. And I would love to have had them with me in church that day. And I think to myself, why didn't I not just make a phone call and invite someone to come with me? Well, it's going to be the same type of experience. I promise you, you're going to have that. You're going to be sitting in the Build Conference, and after a while, you're going to think to yourself, why did I not put more effort to get people here with me? Well, you know that in advance. Put a lot of effort. Set yourself a goal. I've got a goal to have 60 personal prospects there who are not eXp agents that are there as my personal prospects. 60. Set yourself a goal and work towards it. I promise you, you will be grateful that you did.